close my eyes to see the light that's shining deep inside me. I just can't sleep, get lost in these moments. Can't press repeat, gotta freeze it and hold it. I'm in too deep, as deep as the ocean. No, I just can't sleep, cause I'm lost in these moments. Na 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 na. Lost in these moments. Na 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 na. Lost in these moments.
What is up, Overwatch Odyssey? It is Zoran coming at you live here for another matchup between these solid and strong teams. We have got XL2 C and Respawn Raiders going head-to-head tonight, but we do have some commentators that will not be me, thankfully. But let's start things off with the one, the only Ray. Ray, what's cooking?
Hello, everybody. As Zoran has said, my name is Ray. You might also know me as Bogus Bonus. I play Flex DPS on Munchkins, or Hitscan. But yeah, I'm just here to cast some games, give Zoran a break. And I have my good friend John in the booth with me as well.
What's going on, guys? Overwatch Odyssey community.
Yo, I gotta say, John, you've been getting some love here in chat already, so you got some fans building.
Who's in the
building
chat right
up.
now? Who's in the chat?
Sinkle, think?
Ain't the whole thing. What's going on? What's going on, Trent? That's GOAT Trent right there.
Shout
This is
out,
Minecraft
John.
realm. I was in his Minecraft realm earlier. I had to finish up my house a little bit.
Yeah.
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 But anyway, back to the Overwatch. We are waiting on a map pick from XL2, and then we will be getting things underway here, starting off at Control. I know, so Ray is a Munchkins player, and John playing for XL2B, so experience playing XL2C maybe, but none playing the Raiders. What kinds of things are you expecting from these two teams going into things?
Well, I can say Wanna, crazy support player. I've seen their Kiriko, really aggressive, hits the headshots a lot. So damage down choke, gonna be dangerous. XL2C, they gotta get past that. But I mean, a lot of new players from XL2C they signed close to the end of the deadline, and they're looking really, really strong. So I think they got a really good chance here. PD Pipes probably not on the tank tonight, but he's gonna be a valuable player in the rotation tonight.
Yeah, I think it goes to say, I mean, Pipes, you've known him behind the mic here for casting. You all know that Pipes is a very vocal person, and I think having those vocals in your team chat and your team fights can be huge, kind of maybe helping the direction of the team and what you're going to do. But we are looking at no map pick yet. Pipes is currently hyping up the team, so it seems. So we are still waiting on that pick. Looking at the map pool, though, we do have Oasis, Busan, Samoa, Raiders, Band, Lijiang, and Ilios. Of those maps, which of those would be the favorite, would you think?
Well, I think maybe Ilios. If I had to guess, just because I've seen Venedis play the ball, and I think out of all of them, it's either Ilios or Oasis where I think the ball would thrive on the most.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. I mean, Venice ball is very, very scary. As one of the new players that XL2C has picked up, and he is making a difference with that roster on the wrecking ball. And that's not the only take he can play, so look out for that.
Yeah, and it looks like we may be seeing a final line set here for XL2. So as mentioned before, Chris, a.k.a. Venitus, is going to be playing tank, and of course we'll be expecting that ball. We have got KT, Kevin Thomas, and Pipes on DPS. I believe Beppis and Silver on support. So now we're just waiting on that map pick going forward. So Pipes plays, I think, a lot of Soj and Junkrat. What kind of comps do you think? I mean, we're also expecting a ball. You think we're going to see kind of a dive? You think KT maybe pulling out the Tracer or Genji?
Yeah, definitely. KT, Tracer, and Genji are very scary, easy to follow up with the ball. And then honestly, for PD Pipes, I'm expecting a Junkrat. Mainly could go to the Sojourn for backup, but anything that he could just kind of self-sustain and live by himself with is gonna be his best bet. Because I mean, we know PD Pipes, he's a tank player, but he's gonna fill the role of DPS tonight. And I mean, don't sleep on his DPS. I mean, he's pretty solid DPS mechanically speaking. So anything where he can just kind of stay alive. I think Junkrat would probably be his best bet there. Also get a good spam damage in. So
Sure, for sure.
yeah.
But we've talked a lot about XL2 C. Looking at the other side of this match, we've got the Respawn Raiders. We talked a little bit about Wanna being absolutely nasty with it on support. How about Gnar, aka T-Bone, as you may know him? What are you expecting to see? I gotta be honest, I do have a little bit of a bet with Gnar. If he gets a 60 piece in one of these maps, I'm gonna DoorDash in some food, and I want you to know that he is quite literally the entire country away from me. But I'm gonna figure it out, y'all.
A 60
A 60
bomb?
piece, a 60 bomb.
Oh,
Starving his
gosh.
DPS player.
No, I mean,
I mean,
Nar's Hanzo is
yeah.
pretty filthy. I'm not gonna lie, but 60 is crazy. What do you think, Ray?
I mean, you can't say Respawn Raiders without mentioning Gnar. That Hanzo does absolutely generational work, and the 60 is possible with Hanzo. I think it'll be pretty difficult just because of his one hit, his one hit potential. But you know what? If that's what'll bring Respawn Raiders to a match win, then you got to do what it takes.
That's what I'm saying.
Alrighty, and it looks like we have 3 R's from the side of XL2C indicating readiness, just waiting for the Respawn Raiders. And then
Jakey Wakey?
and it looks like Jakey's going to be coming in, and to get a little bit of insight, that may mean the Raiders are looking to do some dive against XL2C. It looks like we do have the R, so we are going to get things underway here at Oasis.
Yeah, counter dive could be pretty productive for them here. Just kind of catch their backline lacking, pick them off, then go from there. But yeah, we already know Chris Venedis, Wrecking Ball is definitely a sight to see. So they're gonna have to figure something out to work against that.
I'm wondering if we'll see Venetus try and flex onto the Sigma. In case that ball just doesn't do enough.
Right.
Definitely possible.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I mean, his Sigma is really strong. I remember I played him in a scrim one time, XL2B versus XL2C scrim. He put up a Sigma, and I was like, wait, hold on, he's kind of... And I'm John Sigma, so you know.
John Sigma.
Yeah, you already know.
And then, I don't know if Hanzo's really the best on this map. I'm probably seeing just a Genji, right? PD on the Sojourn. I was gonna mention it. You can't disregard my guy on the Sojourn. Like,
You really
he can
can't.
put in some work.
Yeah, I mean, PewDiePie's gold player. We already know this is a world-renowned gold player, but his mechanics are something to be afraid of. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know what it is about him. He hits his shots, and it's kind of crazy. So,
Well,
those map starts off. He's a little AFK as well.
on the way we go. Venice is looking at the ball, while the Raiders just push straight to point.
They're gonna take him into
comes
that
the-
high ground for their
Yeah,
slow one, but Chris right on
Venice will
top.
have to deal with that. Yep. PewDiePie's falling low, getting destroyed by this diva as Jakey's just running straight through Silver Falls 2, and that'll be Venedis to touch with Beppis in the back. Beppis takes out Normal Freak, not too bad. Point will go to the Raiders as Venedis will sort of scout and stay alive for the next engage. There's the slam, Gnar falling low.
Huge kill.
There's Gnar out, and this is a 5v4. Wanna falling disastrously low. And Jakey Wakey is forced to just use the boosters to come out. Bonds on main will be caught, probably staggered. And that is a pretty clean point flip for XL2.
Yeah, and I mean, Venedis kind of just stalking the point there at the beginning really got him into a nice position to just take out. He instantly taken out Gnar in that fight, which was definitely a fight changer for XL2 C, helping them to relieve some of the pressure and get in there and win that fight real fast.
Interesting fight onto this like far right area as Venetus throws the mines into a very enclosed space. Normal Freak dies, Gnar falls very low, forced to get the Mega. Jakey's bomb gets KT. It's not over yet. It's a 4v4 right now. As Venetus is sort of just sliding through, dealing damage and getting out. That's a good rail shot and follow up onto Gnar. That will prolong. Oh, I say that as Bronze on main hits a nice shot onto Kevin Thomas. It's a 4v4, pretty even.
I mean, if PD Pipes can keep hitting these railguns, that's going to set up Venice and Kevin to get the final blows. And that's honestly all you need to do on a Sojourn in this situation. Hit some good
Double
rails,
beats
set up your
come
team.
out. It's just a prolonged neutral until Silver will be the first to fall in this fight. Gnar going very low. Not getting enough focus fire, almost dies to Benedis, but Jakey's going to pick out PD Pipes, and this will be the point ticking up for XL2. There's Venetus dropping the mines, trying to buy some time, get some point progress. It's really just Venetus and Beppis.
Yeah,
They won't find anything, and
the Wrecking Ball stall on point is just really huge for them, because I mean, without that, I think they only get like 80% there, maybe even like 79, but they bring it all the way to 92 with Venice just holding that point. And here comes the Juno wall.
there's the orbital ray into this very close space, and Gnar will pop the blade as Bronze on main gets a good pick on a PD Pipes, and the blade won't find anything, but it's enough to sort of make XL2 back up and go for another engagement here. Okay, a greedy Diva Bomb comes out, and it's Venetus to touch will be followed off as Bronze on main with a nice shot onto Kevin Thomas, and Venetus comes right back.
Kitsune to get onto the point here. Hopefully that breaks through the Raiders' defenses here.
The Jakey Wakey will pick up PD Pipes, and it seems like the overclock from Bronze on main does not, it only ends up getting Silver, but that's all they really need. It's just Kevin Thomas and Venetus alive to touch. There it is. Wanna drops the beat in order to just guarantee Venetus won't be able to do much, and it's just a focus fire. PD is the only one to come in for the touch with assistance from a cleanse, is able to, and Beppis will come right back on, but it's just not enough. They need to find some picks. There's Kevin Thomas falling really, really low, and same with Beppis, just not enough. That's map 1.
Chris was really close to that touch there at the end, I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah.
But in the end, Raiders take point 1 on the first map here. And I think they just did, once they got that point there at the end, they just did a really good job of zoning XL2 off the point and keeping that clock ticking up. I mean, XL2 had like 90 on their 50 or 60, I think it was, and they just huge defense, strong defense that Kitsune wasn't enough to break through, as we saw Bronze main with the overclock taking out Silver. And I mean, XL2 just wasn't able to get a good rally to get onto that point there.
4, 3,
Agreed.
1.
No changes other than PD Pipes onto Junkrat. As you've mentioned, we will have to see how this Junkrat changes things.
Yeah, the Junkrat might be good for him because Jakey Wakey is on PD Pipes. I mean, he's everywhere Pipes is. Jakey is right there, so hopefully the Junkrat can do a lot of spam damage to keep him off. And there he goes, he gets 1 pick on Bronze.
Nice, and Venetus will be able to find Normal Freak, as there's not much for the side of the Respawn Raiders when it comes down to contesting this point. Jakey will be forced to get a slight touch, not really stalling much, but there's the engage as respawn raiders have 5. A good focus fire on the PD pipes will get him out, but not after. Venetus will counter pile driver onto Gnar. This is a 4v4. There's another pile driver boosted with the perk, I believe. As Kevin Thomas falls really low.
But Venice with the bombs coming up here. Let's see what he does with these.
There's the mines. And that's just just catching Bronze on main out right there. And it'll sort of slow down this push, which is exactly what XL2 wants.
XL2 coming up on a blade and a nano. Let's see if we can get a nice little nano blade in the chat going on.
Tough dash from Gnar. He's allowed to escape. As Jakey will find pipes. There's the nano on the ball instead. Gnar will have really nothing to deal with that, as Venetus will chase down Normal Freak, gets them very low, and there's the final blow. It's really just Bronze on main and Jakey and Wanna, but it's not enough. Wanna will be able to take out Bepis, that's not too bad, but Jakey needs to survive. Wanna needs to get those trades. That's a great beat in order to keep Jakey up. This is a good contest. Gnar will find PD pipes, and it is almost a win for the Raiders as the orbital comes out from Normal Freak. Probably looking to get Venetus done. I don't blame them. Venetus, you probably want to make sure to get them out. But as Kevin Thomas falls, that'll be a 99.
He just stalled the point all the way to 99 and got out 2 support ults. If that isn't a ball play, I don't know what is. I mean, that's just textbook ball, distracting, getting out cooldowns, and holding a point. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that.
Oof, another
Huge
bomb.
bomb.
Jakey.
Got
Take
both
out the
supports with
back
that
line.
Yeah. XL2 C's gonna have to just wait and regroup. Huge picks right there for the Raiders. Let's see if they can get another stall on the point. Their defense is really, really strong, so hopefully they can just stall XL2 as long as possible.
We are looking at 4 ults from the side of XL2. Venetus will take out Wanna, and Jakey will fall very low. There goes the mech as Kevin Thomas pops the blade, gets 2.
Huge blade.
And that is overtime ticking very, very quickly down. As Gnar with the blade to touch. Wanna will hit the rollout to come right back, but it might not be enough as Pipes drops the rip tire, looking for someone trying to touch. There's 2, and that will be round 2 going to the XL2.
Score 1-1.
Yeah, hopefully XL2 can bring this momentum into the 3rd point here on this first map and come home with a map 1 win on this map here.
John, what do you think the play is for both tanks, or on this map specifically, because you could see it's a little bit more brawly, and all Oasis maps in general are just really different.
5, 4,
Yeah, this is, I would say, the brawl map for Oasis.
round
But with their tank picks, it could work. Diva isn't even bad for frontlining, especially into the team he's going into. Jakey just needs to not get distracted too much by PD pipes. I mean, he'll get the kill on pipes, but by that time you got KT and Venice in your backline wreaking havoc. As I say that, KT comes up with a pick on their Genji. Honestly, if Jakey can just work on the peel here, they could really come out on top.
The peel is ideal when playing Diva. Will step into a trap, and Venetus will sort of just roll that backline over, and may need some changes for the side of the Respawn Raiders. That is Bronze on main falling, and Jakey in the Baby Diva form falling last.
Yeah, I mean, Pipes is doing just a good job of just spamming and being a distraction, which is what he is in to do. I mean, as we talked about before, he's just spam and distract, spam and distract. And he's doing that really well right now, so.
There's a slam, and Venetus has the mines shockingly earlier than everybody else, and they're probably dropping right now as people are able to get out of it. But yeah, as you saw, Wana is caught on the opposite side. Not until Normal Freak is a nice pick on the PD. It won't be enough as Venetus will slide through bonds on main. Gnar will take out Silver. The Kirikos will be traded, and this is just sort of a disaster of a fight, really. And yeah, that'll be Respawn sort of having to group up here. They weren't able to take down Beppis, so it was just a fight of one support versus no supports, and it was close, but was not able to come in their favor.
Yeah, Raiders just need to recompose, regroup, get a nice solid fight on the point here. They have some ults coming up. If Wana can build beat here for late in the fight for sustain, that could be really huge for them. Soj needs to get out. Gets out. Perfect. Now they can set up for this fight here.
There's the nano onto the blade, and Kevin Thomas is slashing through, forces a Kiriko TP, but it's just not into a good position. Jakey will get out of mech and fall when it's just Gnar on point, taking up to 99. OT pops, and really Wana's the only person that could touch, and is just met with unfortunate mines. That'll be map 1 for XL2 C.
Play of the game.
I mean, that was a crazy ball from Venetus right there. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, when it comes down to playing against ball, you either have to ignore it, and this is with a lot of tanks to be fair, but you have to either ignore it or focus it, and it felt like the Raiders just had the wrong idea when it came down to it because of how much effort Venetus was putting through, and it felt like he sort of knew they were trying to ignore him, and therefore went more aggressive and try and be in more, which is exactly what they needed, clearly.
Yeah. And I mean, Jakey Wakey on the Diva had the potential to peel for his backline, just kind of getting caught up a lot on the PD pipes. Like I said, the distraction. He was on pipes a lot, getting the kill, but I mean, not being able to protect his backline. So by the time he got the kill, his team was just kind of falling apart at that point.
So the Raiders ended up picking Escort when asked about hybrid or Escort for the map pick. John, what do you think will be the map ban for XL2?
Oh, XL2 probably gonna ban Route 66. Nobody likes Route 66. It's kind of just a boring map. I don't even like it, and I play Sigma, so. But if I was the Respawn Raiders, their best bet is to just go Dorado. I mean, yeah, you can see the ball on Dorado. It can wreak havoc, but it's a little bit easier to deal with versus Gibraltar. And I mean, Circuit Royale, I've seen Venetus on Sigma, and that is truly a sight to see. But the Raiders do have Gnar for Circuit Royale. The Hanzo,
Oh yeah,
long sight lines, headshot, one-shot kill, I mean, could really change some fights in their favor. But I think their best bet is just go Dorado. I mean, you can still play the Hanzo there. If you wanted to play the Diva, you wanted to put Jakey back in, play the Diva. That works really well on that map as well. I mean, it looks like XL2 is going to ban Route 66.
nice. Now knowing that the Raiders have map pick with Strive in as their tank, what will it be?
Let's see.
I agree. Dorado
Circuit
might be a
Warrior.
good idea.
But it seems like they wanted to go Circuit. Does Strive play Sigma? I don't know. I don't know too much about Strive. Okay, I'm seeing on the career profile a lot of Sig, Ram, and Zarya, which all three very strong on this map. I mean, Circuit Royale, third point, pretty brawl heavy. The Ram could work there, or you could just run the Ram the entire map, run a rush comp into the Sig. Could work really well. The sightlines are kind of long, but I mean, if you get a Lucio Juno speed ring, something like that, just to run them down, that could really provide a lot of pressure into XL2 C. But also, Venomous on the Sigma. I like me a good Sigma map. You know what I mean? So I want to see both of them play Sigma. A little Sigma mirror would be nice to see, but all comes down to what they pick.
I think a Sigma Mirror is strong on Circuit, but Hazard could definitely work. Depending on your play style. Personally, my team likes to run the Winston, maybe Orisa, or maybe even a Ball. Like, he's so viable in every scenario. It's never counted out in any map.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, a good ball player can just make ball work whenever, wherever. It's kind of scary, especially right now with the ball perks. The ball perks are a little freaky.
The ball perks are interesting. The question is, are we going to see a double sniper from Respawn Raiders? We've seen Bronze on main play Widow. We've seen Gnar on the Hanzo. Hopefully that's what we will be seeing, because I mean, like, Gnar can do magic on that Hanzo, and I just wish to see it again.
Yeah, Gnar Hanzo is really scary. Like I said before, if Strive goes Sigma, honestly, a lot of people say don't run double sniper. Why are you running double sniper? But if you're running a full bunker comp with the Sigma on defense, that can be really scary. Because how are you gonna? It's like, it's not easy to break into, So these two snipers just kind of have free reign to shoot off and hit heads as much as they please, and they're both one shot, so not too much counterplay to a one shot, But we have KT on the tank for XL2 C, and I've seen him play Sigma, but he does like to run the JQ, so let's see what we come out on here.
Initiating match.
As we get into the map, we have the Respawn Raiders opting or on attack here, as XL2 chose defense. Defense on Circuit sometimes can just feel a little bit annoying if you've got to deal with all of those angles. It could either be you lose one fight and they're all the way at the checkpoint, or you spawn hold for the entire premise. So we'll have to see what we get into here.
John Sigma's coming out here. I'm gonna give you a little bit of advice on how to play Circuit Royale. You want to start on the high ground for defense, where these two tables are, right? If you start here, you provide a lot of pressure. I mean, Sigma is 20-meter range, like a lot of poke pressure. He just thrives off a high ground, right? So that's where we're going to see KT set up. He's going to set up here. Then when the enemy team pushes towards this black car, you're going to want to see him drop behind this corner here, because this corner is really oppressive to hold. There, you can take the angle on the high ground, but I mean, it's just really strong for defense. Hard to break through there. So I do that a lot, honestly, and you just hold the cart there for the entire time. It'll do wonders, but we'll see how he plays with this Zarya.
Yeah, Zarya is probably a read. They see Circuit, or they want to go Circuit, and they're like, okay, we're gonna play into that Sigma, and Zarya is able to sort of just walk with that bubble, deal with the cleanses, and if Kevin Thomas wants to drop, it's just going to be a really short life for him.
Yeah.
As the cart pushes very far down, both DPS will have to drop, and Drive will go up with normal free. and sort of engage onto this Sigma, jumps across height and starts beaming down Kazi, as Gnar will find a great pick onto Silver to open up the fight. Strive is just scrolling down, gets hit with an anti very, very low, falls to Beppis. Very good anti there, as Kevin Thomas will regain his health. Gnar with the storm arrows, drops Petey, drops Kazi, and that is sort of just the cheat sheet into having a good first push here.
Yeah, and I mean, if XL2 wants to succeed here, Kevin's gonna have to shield off Gnar. I mean, it's different than shielding off a Widow. Hanzo just has so much more mobility. Widow only has the grapple that's on like a 10-second, 15-second cooldown, so. But if he can manage to shield off Gnar, they can provide good pressure on defense.
Dragons come out, engulfing Kevin Thomas, but a nano comes to save his life, and that'll be enough to deal with Strive on the Zarya, forcing the Respawn Raiders to have to back up. The Sigma will pick up Gnar, and Pipes takes out Bronze on main, able to stop this push before much happens.
Push into the Orisa. Orisa can be pretty strong in attack, but into Sigma, I mean, it's a pretty neutral matchup, in my opinion. I mean, both tanks can oppress each other really well. Orisa pushing Sig out of position, but Sigma can just force cooldowns onto the Orisa.
Definitely, Strive will try and walk onto high ground here. And there's the nano onto Orisa. Something you do not want to see. Bronze on main will get the finishing blow on the Pipes as the Respawn Raiders just sort of walk down. Silver caught out. And
I need to see KT Flux here. I really want to see him Flux. I mean, it's right there. There it goes. There goes
there's
the
the
Flux.
Flux. Takes up Bronze on main, but the care will be enough. And Kevin Thomas is caught out with a nice nade on there. There's the nano on the Pipes, but it won't be able to touch. There's checkpoint. Pipes will fall. Silver falls as well. And it's just Kazi and Beppis needing to back up.
Yeah, I mean, if KT had fluxed into the Juno Wall, sounds counterintuitive. Juno Wall is really strong at healing and all that, but it would have picked them up and kept them out of the Juno Wall, actually. The Juno Wall would have kept going forward, and they would have had to stay back, and they would have been able to take that space onto the Juno Wall, but just a little late on that flux. Switching to Zarya now, though. It's a good counter to the Orisa.
Ooh, Kazi falling very low. Gets picked off by Gnar, and there's the window from Silver. Nice dragons will be able to take Silver down and force Kevin Thomas in a bad position, but gets a life-saving nade. Unfortunately, not enough as ends up falling. Pipes will take the force of a horse and a bowman as Pipes will just fall, and that will be second checkpoint with 3 minutes 30 seconds time bank.
Raiders are moving on this map right now. They're just moving through XL2. Need to find their footing on the defense here. This is the hardest part to attack on. So hopefully XL2 can come together, put the pressure on the Raiders, and stop them from getting 3 points here.
Gnar will find a great pick onto Kazi to sort of halt any defensive positions XL2 wants to take. And yeah, this is looking pretty bad. Silver will get a nice kill on the Bronze on main. Not too bad. There's 2 ultimates popping off from XL2 as Kevin Thomas gets the nano and Pipes drops the overclock. Will end up picking up Gnar as the Respawn Raiders are just backing up as far as possible.
Yeah, I mean, good kite out by the Respawn Raiders there. You die, your Ashe dies with Bob early on in the fight. I mean, not much you can really do there. Maybe just outlive the XL2 ult line and save your ults for this next fight coming up here.
And speaking of ults, we've got a lot for the side of the Raiders, and only 2, maybe 3 coming up for XL2. this grab could turn the tides, but depending on what is used, there's the orbital, and Strive will fall very, very low. Not enough care. There will be Bob onto Kevin Thomas as Kevin Thomas throws the grab very early. Nano onto Bob. Interesting. Pipes will be taken out from Bob because of a refocus, and this is a 3v3 as Strive and Kevin Thomas are coming back.
Yeah, we would have liked to see that Bob get out a little bit further, hopefully taking out some people from that grab. But honestly, onto the Respawn Raiders Bob, it wasn't bad to counter it, but I mean, just wasn't enough to take out their team.
Bronze main caught off on height. Drive pops the Arusa ultimate, and this is just a lot of trades going out, but it looks like it'll go XL2's way, as that does seem like a lot of ultimates for the Respawn Raiders to go through, and having to deal with 2 on the side of XL2, it's very winnable for XL2 if they can just time these ultimates and not get too overwhelmed here.
Yeah, especially with those 2 being Overclock and Nano, very scary combination with your supports only being at 57 and 63. Not too much counterplay to that.
Probably looking to take some poke and get support ultimates, but just has too much overwhelming force onto him and falls after that.
Yeah, I mean, Kazi, the Ashe, really impressive with Kazi here. He's pressuring their DPS line really well. A lot of good dynamites being thrown out by both sides, honestly.
Here's the ult from PD Pipes. Gnar will say hell no to that, as the nano onto Kevin Thomas will force Strive to fall. And that's a 4v4 as nobody is able to touch because of that. Unfortunate, because the Raiders actually had 2 support ultimates they could have used to possibly even win that fight.
Yeah, but I mean, like I said before, that is the hardest part of the map to push on. So XL2 able to find their footing and stop them in a really good spot, honestly. Stop them right onto the steps. I mean, if they can just come in, start off strong, keep that momentum through second point, and then figure out a way to get through third point, they can take this map by themselves. Or for themselves.
Do you think we're going to see a Sigma here?
No. Well, no. Oh, I was wrong. He's playing Sigma. Let's go. I'm happy, though.
Drive on Sigma.
I'm happy I was wrong. I love watching Sigma gameplay.
Definitely the choice on defense because you have that oppressive high ground to control.
Right.
On defense, it's difficult to play into that mirror if you're attacking. So something like a tracer to push cart while you do a 1v1, or even a Ramatra to sort of just run on high ground and walk over the Sigma probably could work.
Yeah. I mean, but we're gonna see the Zari here, just gonna try to full counter. I would like to see him try to walk onto the high ground, but with not too much DPS pressure. I mean, you have the Widow, the Junkrat. You're not gonna get too much brawl support with that. Getting good charge off early.
Snipers.
Yeah, we're gonna see the double sniper bunker comp.
A nice shot from Bronze on main, picking up silver. You've got Kazi on the Widow as well. This is an interesting Widow duel we're going to see. There's Kazi with a nice pick, and Kevin Thomas will fall very low, forced to use that bubble and save himself. And now Strive is sort of backpedaling here.
Yeah, I need to see Strive get onto the high ground. I mean, KT's just going to walk through his team right now. Taking the high ground away from them, getting them a little bit discombobulated, pushing this cart here.
Kazi and Gnar battling it out as Strive again falls very low. Wanna needs to get LOS. Oh,
oof, KT with a huge secondary there.
Yeah, Kevin Thomas taking out 2. Silver getting bronze on main, and this is looking like a even quicker point push for XL2.
Yeah, and I mean, KT here looking for some staggers would be huge to keep them from retouching, but I don't think they're even going to try. I don't think it would be a good idea. Just Raiders just need yeah, they just need to regroup, reset here. I mean, let some of KT's charge drain out. I mean, it's already at 25.
Yep, that is the first checkpoint. And it looks like a Zarya mirror, as Strive will get an anti, forced to make that bubble at a very, very close second. And there's the sleep onto Wanna, as Pipes just goes straight in. There's the grab to try and back him up, but will not catch anything. Kazi pops the infra sights, looking for a pick. Gnar chasing, looking for Kazi, which is a beautiful shot as a nano comes on to Strive, trying to look for more damage and enough, but an anti-nade and Junkrat mines will be able to pick off Strive, and that is a lot of ultimates in that fight. Looks like it'll come out for XL2, as really the supports are the only ones alive for the Respawn Raiders.
Yeah, that looked like the Raiders fight there. It was just that Junkrat spam. I mean, Strive going down to that, on that push, he was pushing really hard, really strong, good push him back, get the staggers, but I mean, unfortunately going down, and XL2 able to rally off that.
Nice pick to open there. Strive needs to back up because of that Bastion. There's the grab dragons coming through, as Cleanse will save them just for a little bit, but a nade onto Kazi will finish him off. PD hits the Riptire, but Gnar will finish it. This is looking pretty decent for XL2 because Strive isn't there. Gnar will have to touch. Wanna falls as well on point, as Gnar is sort of just walking on there. Here comes Strive, and Silver drops the Kitsune Rush as Kazi guns Strive down. In that entire time, Kevin Thomas and Beppis were living. It was just not enough damage from the Respawn Raiders.
The cooldown management there from XL2 and Respawn Raiders, just really good in extending that fight. I mean, you see Beppis throw out the nade and then Normal Freak matching the Suzu immediately. KT with the bubbles on his teammates and himself to stay alive, to sustain through that fight. I mean, it was just nice all around.
It was an orchestra.
An orchestra,
possibly.
Indeed, yes.
And there's a nice, good angle to pick off Pipes, as that might slow down XL2 for what it seems to be this attack. They still have a good 3 minutes on the time bank in order to move. A nade onto Wanna will be forced to sort of back up and recollect. Bronze on main with some good shots onto Kazi.
Yeah, I mean, Bronze and Gnar just hitting Kazi in the head at the exact same time there. Kind of crazy.
And Gnar gets a nice shot on the Pipes. Bronze tries to go for a little 1v1, but just ends up backing up. And there's a few ults on each side here. Bronze with a nice hop onto the high ground, finding Beppis, knocking that nano out of the fight. And it's up to XL2 if they want to back up or if they want to try and trade out.
Yeah, I think their best bet would have been to attack first there, but since Normal Freak dropped that Kitsune, not much they could do besides kite out.
And Kazi will be caught on the wrong side here. Beppis drops the nano, and a lot of ults come out, both grabbed at the same time, and Wanna will find Silver, the grab dragons will pick out Gnar, and it's really just Kevin Thomas on the front lines being pocketed by Beppis to deal with this. Bronze on main falls really low, but Thrive is able to, with the help of Bronze, of course, take Kevin Thomas, but Strive unfortunately walked up a little bit too far. Kazi will take down Strive and Bronze on main, and this is just looking like a disaster for Respawn. Gnar needs to hit some shots here.
Yeah, I mean, Kazi hits can very scary. I mean, one game early in the season, Kazi on Baptiste, and just 5Ks the other team. I mean, that just goes to show you how how good he is on the hit scan here. So
There goes Bob running straight to XL2's back line as it's getting a lot of pressure. There's the bubble onto Bob. Pipes falls very low and dies to the dynamite. That's a 4v5 right now. Kevin Thomas will look to mirror this drive.
yeah, but KT with the 88 charge right now, I mean, very scary. Zarya high charge is a scary sight to see down your main line. So
Of course, and with the Kitsune rush coming close, Bronze on main will do some good work on Akazi, which is the pick that the Raiders really need.
yeah, XL2 having a minute left, needs to just group up, get one final attack in. I mean, you have slight ult advantage. Your Kitsune is actually up, so if you can strike first, that'll be huge. But Pipe's going down to that Ash dynamite. KT looking to get on their backline, gets one with the help of Bepis. I mean, this could be their chance to go in.
It is a good trade and a lot of ults coming up from XL2. There's the Kitsune rush as Kevin Thomas sort of just walks it down. A nice nade will bring Silver very low. There's Silver getting picked off in the grab in the back as both supports for XL2 are done. The Bob of Kazi will have high visibility, and that boop also helps, and it's really just Kazi versus Strive on the point here, and it will be Strive coming out on top with almost nobody to touch. It's
Lucio
up to
coming in.
Silver on the Lucio, unable to,
Oh.
and that will be map 2 for the Respawn Raiders.
That was a close one. That was a close one.
Play of the game.
That was very close, almost like completely won by Kazi here. But like as we can see, Strive did some amazing work onto the back line here, getting 4, even 5 himself.
The main thing is, I just saw KT get a little too greedy there. He hits a fat grab onto the Kiriko Hanzo, but unfortunately they were behind the pillar, but then he decided that he was going to go chasing for it. Suzu comes out. We already know Suzu is a really strong, low-key busted ability. Just going to say it. Suzu's busted, but KT not able to find those picks and then instantly getting low and then getting caught in that grab and going down, which if he was in that fight with Kazu there, I think we see a different outcome on Circuit Royale. But 1-1, both teams performing really well tonight. This is going to be a game.
I mean, most definitely the Suzu from Silver has saved XL2 many times against the Grab Dragons, and and you know, the Respawn Raiders had some amazing plays of their own, but looking at push, what do you think we're gonna see here, John?
Push. Definitely banning Runasapi. I don't think there's been a game this season that Runasapi hasn't been banned. I mean, like, I feel like it's been every game. Runasapi, ban. And I don't even hate Runasapi. Runasapi kind of valid, but probably gonna see the Coliseum really good for the ball. I mean, XL2 needing to rally back, get a win here, so they can go up 2-1 and then maybe finish it out 3-1. Respawn Raiders could, I mean, Respawn Raiders, there is definitely a case for Respawn Raiders coming out on top on this game. I mean, it could go either way.
Agreed, and we have the first ban coming in. Respawn Raiders banning New Queen Street. Will we see a Runasapi play? It might just be in Pipe's bag of tricks.
That's in Pipe's bag of tricks, then. I'll be shocked. I'm honestly already shocked.
It's not too bad for the ball.
Yeah. I'm honestly surprised they banned New Queen Street. I feel like that would honestly work best with what they have on tank. Like, the ball can put in work on New Queens, but it's a lot more close quarters, so like the peel for the ball, it's a lot easier without giving up too much space.
Agreed, and it will all be figured out in a minute. Um, but depending on what we see, we'll probably be seeing maybe pipes on the Junkrat can play well in Coliseo. The Sojourn's just good on every single map. Gnar
Yeah.
will probably be playing the Genji if I had to guess. I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't play that Hanzo when you have such a powerful presence, but when it comes down to it, it's just sort of a map and a feeling thing and a team comp, I'm sure.
Yeah. Also, shout out to all my goats in the chat. I see you guys. Stick, Singlefink, Numinous. Love you guys. Thank you for the support. Benedis in the chat too. He's in the game. I don't know what he's doing in the chat.
And you know, if Coliseo is picked, we might see a Doomfist come out from Strive. I've seen a lot of hours and time on Doomfist in Strive's profile, so it's definitely possible. Looking like Coliseo, with the team comps finalized, or with these current team comps, what do you think is going to be ran here, John?
Well, I would love. I mean, we already know Benedis. We're gonna see the ball, right? But to match that ball, Doomfist could really be the move. I've seen a lot of teams this season play Doom on Coliseo and put in work. I mean, just completely change the tide of the match with the Doomfist on this map. A lot of high ground to get to jump up on and surprise people with a nice punch. And I mean, Doomfist just has such high kill potential. I mean, it's higher than Wrecking Balls for sure. So if you can take out the backline faster than the ball can, it's really just your map to take.
Agreed. And I feel like if they're worried about Strive Zarya, which you've seen, it's pretty good. That ball is something you want to play to match that, because you can't really, or you play well into it. The ball really doesn't charge Zarya up, but
Yeah.
a good Zarya will know how to work with the cooldown. So it's sort of just a logistical thing here.
Yeah, honestly, if we do see Strive on that Zarya, I would like to see him bubbling his teammates, waiting for the slam. But you gotta just know when the ball's gonna go for a full engage, or like I call like a soft engage, right? So he might just slam and roll away. You don't want to waste your bubble on that. You want to wait for the slam to go down and to see the ball go into his I don't know what it's called, his shooting form, I guess, whatever.
Yeah.
You want to see him actually go onto a target, then go for the bubble on them to save your target. But let's see, we got Beppis on tank, and Beppis Doomfist is kind of scary itself. So if we see a little Doom mirror, that might be something. That's just which Doom can take out the other team's backline the fastest, right?
Agreed. Zarya can play pretty decently well into Doom. I like the Ramatra into Doom too.
Mm-hmm.
You could sort of just ignore him, slow the backline, and deal a lot of damage, but we will have to see what's going to happen here. You've got two skilled DPS players, Bronze Main and Gnar. You've got PD Pipes, you've got Kevin Thomas. Definitely people who can make things done. You've seen Kazi play the Baptiste, as you've mentioned last map, which is going to happen here, which is pretty nice. And Silver will match that with Akiriko.
Yeah, and we're seeing that Zarya that you're talking about in the Doomfist. Again, kind of the same concept. Probably less soft engages than a Wrecking Ball, but still want to wait for the right opportunity to get a bubble on your teammates so it's not wasted.
Exactly, and it looks like a double hit scan for XL2 as they're running with the Cassidy Sojourn.
Yeah, KT Cassidy is a scary sight to see. I mean, starts clicking heads. You better play your cover.
We'll see how this matches up to Gold Rush from those last matches, but we will see Beppis punching in, getting a little bit of poke damage, and blocking, trying to make something work here as Strive is sort of just commanding targets here. Beppis with a nice punch onto Gnar. Strive was just unable to find him, but Beppis will be pretty far deep. Bronze on main will get that final blow, and Strive is able to just sort of walk as Pipes, Kevin Thomas, and Silver will all sort of fall.
Yeah, I mean, you just have Strive walking in the front line. I mean, what is he at? He's at 60% charge right now. Just walking down your team with charge, and you have Bronze on main backing him up with the damage in the back line. Hitting a lot of headshots that I'm seeing right now. Very devastating for the XL2 team. Going down to Gnar's arrows. I mean, Beppis trying to go in.
Those storm arrows are big, and now you've got Kevin Thomas on Genji. That will work more fluid with Beppis on the Doom. Kazi will take out Wanna, and this will sort of be a backup. I've noticed that XL2 don't have card control until now, and there's the Dragons trying to do something, but will just end up falling, and Bronze on main will fall as well without taking Kazi with him.
Beppis taking an aggressive angle here, trying to hold space for his team so they can get a little progress, try to get close to that 42-meter mark that the Raiders were able to start off strong with. He has the ult to save himself. Let's see what he does here.
Yeah, with that ult, we're probably going to see a little bit more aggressive plays here. Drive will just sort of walk in, beam down Pipes, and there's the Meteor Strike as Drive gets a grab onto a lot of the back line. Bronze on main will fall low. Wanna 1 will also get low, and that is kind of what you want to see. You're able to sort of live from that grab, and Beppis is just able to sort of do the work onto the back line with the Doomfist.
Yeah, that whole time that Strive and his team were trying to work with that grab, Beppis is just in their back line. He drops that ult like we are talking about, takes out Wanna, takes out Normal Freak, got Gnar low, and then, KT comes and finishes that up, and that's just a clean fight for XL2 to take the lead here.
There's definitely some big hitters on XL2. Something to be reckoned with as the Nano goes out onto Gnar, and Normal people drop the Ray as well. The Nano will drop Pipes low, and Beppis will go very low as well. That looks like a quick fight win. XL2 not getting forward spawn just yet. Kevin Thomas will get a nice pick onto Gnar. That may slow down the Respawn Raiders when this fight comes back.
Yeah, I mean, KT being able to get that pick and not dying, I mean, the stagger would have been huge for Raiders, but KT coming out on top of that fight. XL2 able to regroup a little bit faster, keeping Raiders from getting a good push started again.
A nice anti onto 3 as some of it gets Suzu. Gnar pops the blade, does not find anything immediately, ends up falling to the wrath of Kazi as Beppis goes in, takes out Normal Freak, the Meteor Strike taking out Wanna, and that is a lot of work done for XL2. They just need to grab bot.
if you were watching Beppis there, he was plotting and scheming that entire time. You could see his ult was online. He was just lurking around the corner, waiting for the right opportunity to go in, and goes in, gets Normal Freak, pops the ult, gets Wanna, then is able to finish off the DPS with the help of his team there as well.
This will be checkpoint for XL2 as there are a lot of ults. Beppis will miss the punch and get slept gets focused. This is a good outcome for Respawn, as XL2 will have to do something. The grab comes out to try and counter that window, and Kevin Thomas will pop the blade, getting Strive very low, picking off Juana as well. And it's really just Strive versus Heat, as the bot starts running away because of Normal Freak. It was a very good effort, but it just wasn't enough for the Raiders.
Yeah, I mean, that grab was huge, but that window was just bigger. I mean, grab goes out, Kazi immediately drops the window, and Pipe's just picking up a pick on the bronze main. Honestly, changing that fight without that window, I think they follow up on that grab and win that fight. But I mean, also you had KT in the back putting in work with his blade. It was just not good for the Raiders there.
Yeah, and here's the punch from Beppis. Normal Freak will fall, and a High Noon flanking will take out Silver. Bronze on main falls low though. There's the Nano onto himself, it seems. Probably looks like it was supposed to go in Bronze on main, but falls a little too quickly. Strive will fall very low. A nice cleanse will try and keep them up, but it's just not able to. Normal Freak is now in the back and will be picked off by the Wrath of Beppis.
Yeah, like I said, the Beppis Doomfist is scary. Here comes the Strive Doomfist. You know, I was hoping to see it a little sooner to match. You know, get a mirror going. Just try to get a counter dive, but with the addition of perks, I mean, Beppis is up 2 perks on him.
Yeah. Bronze on main will find Pipes, and Gnar with the blade will cut through the team, but not find anything. It's a 4v4 as Bronze on main rolls in, tries to find Kazi. Not able to, as Kazi picks up Bronze, and Kevin Thomas will take both supports out. We see Strive on the Doomfist trying to match something.
Yeah, I would have liked to see the Raiders switch to this comp a little earlier. The Doom Genji combo really strong together. Doom getting a lot of damage out fast, and Genji being able to quickly pick up those picks. What we're seeing Beppis and KT doing right now.
That is a good pick from Gnar. Silver falls, but Strive is very low. Punch would drop the... Oh, and a meteor strike directly onto Gnar will force it out, and that punch is just enough to take care of most of the Respawn Raiders here.
Beppis just putting that fight on his back, I'm gonna be completely honest.
It is not over though, as it's now 4v4. Beppis will take out Gnar, so it's looking better for XL2 as ults are being charged. Strive floats to a punch. Kazi drops the window up top, forcing Juana to play defensively. Beppis will grab hold of the cart. Strive will pick off Silver in the back. Kazi will finalize the kill on Juana, and Beppis will sort of just take this cart out after killing him.
I mean, Raiders walked forward, leaving only their Kiriko and cart to fight Beppis, and that's scary going against Beppis.
Agreed.
Play of the game.
I think the pressure from Kazi on Bap, Beppis on Doom, and you've just got like Kevin Thomas running through the team, dashing through. You've got Pipes on the Bastion, just forcing out cooldown, and Silver there to just sort of cleanse anything, teleport out if they get into any trouble, and yeah, it's looking pretty good for XL2.
Yeah, that was a really clean map for XL2 C. I mean, just showing the league what they can do with these new players that they've picked up recently. Moving on to Flashpoint now. I want to see. I don't know if Stick's still in the chat. He loves New Junk City. I hate New Junk City. Horrible map, bro. Horrible map. Saravasa better. So I would like to see the Respawn Raiders just go to Saravasa. Not too big of a difference between the two maps, but I mean, Survivor just looks cooler.
At the end of the day, Flashpoint is Flashpoint, but I think Survasa is likely the more enjoyed map out of the two.
I definitely agree on that one. It just looks better. It feels better. It plays better. Everything's better.
A lot can be played on both maps. If you're Respawn Raiders, you don't want to see Beppis Doom. There's a lot of pressure to deal with. Most definitely.
Yeah, I kind of want to know what his stats were that game. He was locked in that game. Yeah.
We see Suravasa pick.
Yeah, I mean,
Looking like Beppis survived only with 3 deaths that map, and Kazi with 1. An absolute menace on the Baptiste.
yeah, looking back on it, looks like Beppis dropped 26 too. I mean, pretty scary for how fast that map went.
We will be seeing Suravasa. That is the confirmed map pick for the Raiders, and we will get Jakey in. So we might be seeing some Diva, which is very viable in Suravasa. Those bombs have been pretty big recently. So what do you think XL2 C is going to bring on this map?
Oof. I mean, Doomfist. I mean, that might just be. They're strong. I mean, they just look so strong in that Doomfist. I mean, into the Diva, it's way easier than playing ball in the Diva. So I'll tell you that much, right? You can just punch out a defense matrix. You jump in, get over health, and block, and this is like a lot of damage coming at you. So if you block right in front of the Diva, I mean, it's pretty hard not to charge the Doomfist because you just do so much damage up close, right? But they might also just run the ball, right?
They could.
They could just put Venice back on tank, run the ball. I mean, it worked for them before. It could work for them again now, right? So just gotta see what happens here. It looks like they're putting Venice on the tank again.
Yeah,
Venitus?
ball can be played a lot, and we've seen the Raiders struggle with the peel. We've seen that Diva sort of have to do a lot of things at once, dealing with the DPS pipes, dealing with Venitus, and trying to peel for the backline. So we'll have to see how the Respawn Raiders bring this one back.
Yeah, and I mean, if there's any map for them to bring it back, it would be this one. Like I said before, I mean, close quarters against the ball with the Diva is gonna be your best bet because your peel is a lot easier without giving up too much space, and that's kind of how Flashpoint is played. Like it's just you're just on the point, right? So you can peel for your backline and get back onto the enemy team's front line, push them back, keep them from applying too much pressure to your team, and that's kind of just. It's like a boring way to play Diva, but that's just how it's going to have to be played for them to win this map here.
I mean, the passive Diva isn't. I mean, it might be boring, but if you can play that effectively and find maybe Beppis or Kazi in a bad position, boosters in, micro missiles in, get the pick and get out, it's very rewarding, and it could be very difficult for XL2C to find a way to counter it.
Yeah, I totally agree. But, I mean, Pipes on the distraction character was huge. I mean, we saw it in the first map, especially when he went Junkrat. I mean, it's just hard to fly on a Junkrat as Diva. I mean, you fly in with your defense matrix, but then you try to do some damage, and then Beppis and Kazi are right there to support him. So it feels like you're not really doing too much, but we'll see what happens here.
We'll have to see. If Pipes does play that Sojourn, I think I'd like to see the Sojourn ball combination go through, because it really worked in multiple times on Oasis, and Kevin Thomas can just play that Genji. We've seen Kevin Thomas do really well on it, especially with the support from Kazi and Beppis. It's looking pretty good for XL2, but we've seen on Suravasa, Gnar has brought out the Hanzo at least once, I've seen personally.
Ready for battle.
We will have to see what they decide to do as the map goes on.
The last time I saw Gnar play Hanzo on Suravasa, oof, my god.
It was.
I mean,
it made me a
that was-
believer. I'll say that.
yeah,
much.
that was the map. That was the game. I was like, wait, this guy is a little bit filthy on the Hanzo.
Exactly.
But we are gonna see the Sojourn ball you were talking about, and I mean, we're gonna see KT on the Sojourn. We just have to see him hitting some crucial rails for PD Pipes and Venedis to finish up those kills, and that'll be the key to their success here.
Seems like the Raiders are going for a crazy anti-ball setup. Got the Orisa, got Brig, Ana, and the Torb, of course. So we'll have to see how this like sort of bunker comp will fare into XL2 C. It'll allow Kevin Thomas to get a lot of some good spam, get a lot of rails in. Everybody on the Raiders falling very low. Bronze on main will be taken out by Kazi to open up a fight, and first point will go to the Raiders. If they can get this stall and sort of just die, reset, or get a pick, that'd be pretty nice. Gnar is able to find Pipes, but Kazi is uncontested on this high ground with the help of Venetus, just able to rain hellfire onto all of the Raiders.
Yeah, I mean, Gnar getting that pick, but XL2 immediately responding with 2 and then finishing off the rest of the team there. Doesn't look like the Raiders' turret plan isn't going too well for them. Their idea is probably to just set up turrets and get automatic fire on the ball, so he can't really wreak too much havoc in the backline. But Venice just going in and getting out and letting his team do the rest. It's just,
If we can see a TP on a high ground or JP with a good boosters to try and get Kazi off, but it's going to be very difficult if you've got Venetus in the backline dropping the mines already. Those mines will be cleared pretty quickly, but if not without a consequences, JP will lose the mech, and a nice anti will finish him off, as it's sort of just Pipes running in, getting everybody very low, and Venetus trying to fill this. There's the nano onto normal freak. Bronze on main picks up 2 as OT ticks down, and the Raiders are forced to go point, which is not ideal. Multi-core comes out, but it won't do much as it's just JP on the point. Window comes out, and Kazi will clean up.
yeah, really good fight by XL2 there. I mean, looking like Raiders were able to come back there, but Venetus on the ball just kind of cleaning up, helping his team out, keeping Beppis alive there on the Ana, and those two together just commanding the point there at the end, even with the Torbolt.
Agreed, and there's a slam just to get in and get out. A little bit of damage. Venetus will be coming up on the second mines here as we see Jakey on the ball. An interesting pick going into this team comp. Venetus will have the mines, probably dropping them pretty early as Gnar will be the focus. Jakey sort of playing a little bit in the front line. There's the mines in very close base. Bronzebot main is caught out. Gnar can't really leave. He's forced to deal with Venetus Nano. The late copy comes out onto Brig as Jakey Wakey will fall. And that'll be the point cap for XL2.
Yeah, I mean, Venet is just trapping Gnar in a corner there with the mines. I mean, what are you supposed to do there?
At some point, you just walk into him. but Gnar doesn't go out like that. He doesn't go out without a fight.
Yeah.
Looking at JP still on the ball, doing a lot of work in the back line right now, trying to mirror this ball matchup as it's sort of not looking too well, as Kevin Thomas on the Sojourn is able to just sort of spam it and shoot a couple rails, and that's kind of all she wrote. It'll force the Raiders to drop back and play further back and wait for that ball to come back.
Yeah,
Here's
I mean,
next fight.
KT looking like a matcha guy now. I mean, saying these coffee dudes a little too crazy for him. He just likes his matcha. He's spamming down wooden rail and hitting people in the head. I mean, what are you supposed to do against that?
A lot of ults come out from. That is just almost. There's 4 ults coming out from the Raiders, and yeah, that's point flip. I think XL2 are pretty happy to give them that point. Okay, if you're gonna drop all of those, we're just gonna let you have it at that point. We will have to see how their attack goes. Venetus slams in and is a just wrecking ball on this center here. Overclock comes out as a lot of the Raiders will fall low, and it's just Wanna alive. Kevin Thomas picking up 2. That'll be a team kill to finish out this second point here.
Yeah, no touch for the Raiders. Best idea is just try to set up onto this next point before XL2 can get there and command that defense like we saw on the one map they did take onto the first map. The one point that they did take was just showcasing how strong their defense is, right? So if we can just get back to that defensive hold, they can get these next 2 points and really make this a game here.
We see Bronze on main switch to the Tracer. We see Gnar on the Genji. This is a team comp I'd like to see, but Kazi is able to punish some bad positioning from Gnar, and Wanna will fall very, very low, being focused by Venetus, falling low themselves. Pipes will be taken down by Bronze on main, and that will be first point capture for XL2, but possibly not for long. The Nano and the Mines, a clutch Suzu will save, but only for a second, as XL2 will clean up this fight.
Yeah, I mean, Gnar and Bronze on main trying to make something happen in the backline there. I like the idea they had, Gnar going in, Bronze on main going into follow-up, but that was just a huge nade and there to keep his team up. Not much they could really do there.
Yeah, XL2C has a lot of sustain in the backline. You've got the regen, you've got the lamp, and you've got nano, or you've got nade. It's a lot to deal with, but if you're able to pick off Venetus like that, it might just be very quick. There's pipes going down as well, and the Diva bomb going straight.
Oh, that was
Kazi with a nice.
Yeah, that was a clutch
Nice
import because
demo.
that gets them, bro. That gets like 3, I think, right?
Yeah, 2 or 3, I think.
At least 2. That was definitely a clutch import.
Gnar will be left an anti, which is not what you want to see if you're the Raiders. You need to find something here. Jakey is trying to make some space and do something, but there's a lot of pressure onto them as is out of mech. Gnar just coming back and having to back up, unfortunately falls, and there's the slam will flip the point into XL2's favor, and we will be approaching last fight potential here. If XL2 are able to come out on top, we're looking at almost 5 ults, which is great. They just need something here.
Almost 5 ults, but Junowall online, and we know how Junowall is a very scary ult. If we can just get past his window and they drop the Junowall, it could be a fight win for them, but Juno going down to Kazi with the window, I mean, I think this might just go to XL2 here.
That is a lot of ults coming out, and XL2 looking like the victors of this match. It sort of looked like the Raiders had something going for them in the first 2 matches, but it kind of fell apart nearing the end. I mean, I don't doubt it with the pressure from all of the big hitters on XL2.
Yeah, I mean, Venice Ball was wreaking havoc tonight. It's just like when they were able to get Venice Ball out and killed early on in the fight, they just go on to win the fight, right? But when they let Venice do what he pleases in their backline, he just kind of takes them out, you know? And then if you try to chase him too far, it's like now you're putting yourself in a bad position, getting like we see Jakey Wakey, he'll chase the ball out of position, but he'll come back and instantly lose mech, and that's just kind of like easy flip for XL2 C. So you gotta play it pretty perfectly into this ball comp that they have going on. I mean, XL2 C, a team to fear right now, looking really strong tonight.
We will have to see how they face up against the other teams down, the other teams in this bracket. I believe we will be seeing XL2 C face off against Steamboat, I believe. The Cowboys next, and then Steamboat after that. Which the Cowboys are very powerful. They're a great team. We saw them in that Pistols match. So I think that one will probably be a match to keep an eye on and watch 100%.
Yeah, I mean, both teams starting in the upper division, I believe, putting not really the best showing out, but since then have come and just reinforced their team, prove that they can play the game and play it at a high level. So that'll definitely be the game to see in this round for the B bracket.
It will be a rematch, I believe. XL2C losing 3-0 to the Cowboys in stage 1. I think both Kevin Thomas, Pipes, and Kazi will be excited to go back into this match and hopefully make a name for themselves, and prove that what they're doing now is a better team than they were before.
Yeah, for sure, totally. That'll be their game to prove it to everybody. So that these pickups right near the end of the deadline were the changing factor for their team. I mean, XL2C had a lot of stuff going on and definitely have just battled back since then, which is commendable in and of itself. But to also see them come back so strong is just really amazing.
Yeah, both teams played great, and I'm excited to see more of what XL2C can do. I think the Cowboys matchup will definitely be a great test of their mettle. being able to determine whether they should be in one of those, I'll say, top 6 spots. So the top 4 spots are guaranteed to Group A. The seeding is still being determined, but the top 2 teams from Group B will get spots 5 and 6, and the rest will have play-in games to determine whether or not they make it to the tournament. So with that in mind, XL2 C looking like they have really good chances starting off 2-0 here for Stage 2. With Cowboys in their way, that could be a roadblock, or it could be a chance for them to go ahead and jump over to that number 5 spot and solidify maybe a seed that they want to take. But definitely well played by XL2C. Respawn Raiders with some glimpses of greatness, but not enough to overcome XL2C. With that being said, though, that is going to be it for this week. We do have the matchup between Steamboat and Pistols. That is tomorrow, but unfortunately that will not be streamed. So stay tuned for that score to be posted, and we will be back, I believe, on Monday at 10 p.m. EST for another Raiders match as they go up against Texas A&M Galveston. So until then, have a good rest of your evening, and because we won't see you, have a good weekend, and we'll see you back on Monday. Peace.
See you guys.
Yeah, thank you guys for coming out, of course.
I'm stacking these trophies, I'm good with addition. I spit like a pastor, I give you the vision. Up early morning, enough for the sleep in my life is a dream, but you wishing you lived it. Haters get livid, my pocket's Pacific, that's deep if you get it. So Tempur-Pedic, I sleep on the critics. Don't feel like competing, I'm hearing these crickets. Whoa, let me switch the flow, a new bounce. Coming to the den with a lion, I'm gon' pounce. Know I've been a king for a while, got a ring and a crown. That's the bling with the blow, what the team is about. Champions, you can tell by the ambience of this sound. Referee scream, rest in peace, and think twice if you never see me, just no doubt. This ain't no regular thing, I came for the ring, you know what I mean.